Hey guys, this is Jared Cohen at Cohen Academy, and just really excited to give you a comprehensive review of my new favorite paddle, the Dwell Next Gen Braun. So just give you some interesting background on it. The owner of the company, his name is Graham D'Amico. He does the Florida Smash. He's one of the owners, and he also does a podcast, Tennis Sucks with Travis Rettenmaier. So I talked to Graham, and basically he wanted to design a paddle that was similar to Yola Perseus 3S, but he said he wanted to add quote-unquote Pro XR grit. So I've never used a Pro XR, but I've heard it's like grittier in some spots and not as gritty in other spots, so it still meets the test. This to me, I feel like is pretty consistent across the face, just very gritty. The shape is just a typical elongated. So if you use a carbon like the Carbon 1, Yola, the Perseus, so it's 16.5 length and then 7.5 width. The grip looks longer because I just grip it extra high, but it ends here. It's just a 5.5-inch grip, and with the extra, maybe you get to 6 with the taper. So this is my personal favorite. It's the 14 millimeter. It's a polypropylene core. It's got some foam around the perimeter, kind of like a Yola. I think they call it like a trampoline effect. It's got an edge guard. The swing weight on this one is 110, and I actually have it leaded up to 875. So I put 2 lead rings of 0.5 gram per inch, and then I start the lead here all the way up to here, and then I put a little strip here on the top. And then obviously the overgrip has a little bit of weight too. But with the 14, it feels very light and maneuverable. I used to use the Gearbox Pro Power. It's not as powerful as that. I'd say it's maybe a little less powerful than a Mod and maybe a little more powerful than a Yola 3S. If you used a Ripple, it's probably similar power to the original Ripples, but I think the newer ones supposedly are more powerful. What's nice is that I've been using it for a couple weeks, and it feels good out the box, and it doesn't really need a break-in period, maybe 1 or 2 days. And it's not like it gets hotter every time I use it like it was when I used the gearboxes. I think that's part of the issue when you have the whole paddle as foam. So the other great things about it is the paddle is USA approved. Which means you're good as long as you're not a pro on the PPA Tour. And then the other thing that's great about it is paddles that are similar to this, like the Yolas are 275, 280. This is 200, and with my discount code, it's down to 150, maybe 160 after tax. Not only that, it comes with a lot of goodies. You get a paddle eraser, some edge guard tape, a couple grips. So you're really getting good value for what you have. And I believe it comes with a 90-day warranty too. But yeah, it's top tier in power. I wouldn't say it's the most powerful paddle ever made, but it's really good in terms of usable power. Like, I'm not launching my server turns long. It is great sweet spot, great control on resets. I just stick the paddle out there, and it does its job. I will say though, this paddle benefits people the higher level that they are. So I think 4.5, 5.0 people really get the full benefit of all the characteristics of this power paddle. Being more compact with your strokes, it helps your counters, your speed ups, your drives. You don't have to be too big. But I probably would not recommend this paddle to a beginner, or I'd say definitely people under 4.0. You probably want a paddle that's a little bit more control or all court. And then, I'd say this is more of an advanced player paddle. So this is the 14. They also have it in 16 millimeter. So you can tell the difference between this color right here. So the white is the 16. I still think this is a good paddle, but it's not really for me. It's a little bit more plush, so it's a softer feel. I came from the Paddletech TKO CX 12.7, so it's not as, this 14 isn't as stiff as that, but it's definitely stiffer than the 16. This is very soft on the feel. It's a little slower in the hands. I think the swing weight is closer to 120. If you use this, I definitely would put either no lead tape or less lead tape, and definitely nothing up here. And the handle also feels a little bit chunkier. I may even just take this handle off the grip off and put 2 over grips on. Where with this, with 1 over grip, it still feels very comfortable. You know, I have like average size hands and it feels good. My guess is this grip is around like 4.125, maybe 4 3/8 at most, but it's not too big. Where I think the 16 is a little bit chunkier. But again, if you have bigger hands and you like a more plush feel, the power and pop, I'd say, are relatively similar on those. So I wouldn't say to get one or the other because of that. Even though one says balance and, you know, on the website it says it's more all court, it's really about the same. I would just decide between these paddles where if you want something with a lighter swing weight out the gate, you can really load it up with lead, I'd go 14. If you want a stiffer, more responsive feel, go 14. You want a plusher feel, softer, go 16. And then, you know, you want a smaller grip, 14, bigger grip, go 16. But I'm really pleased with these paddles. It's really elevated my game and performance. I hadn't won or even placed in a Money Baller tournament since March of 2024. And in my last 2 tournaments with these paddles, or this paddle, I got 3rd and 1st in Money Balls. You can go on my YouTube channel or Instagram to watch some gameplay of it. It's got a really cool Gen 3 type of feel, that deeper type of thud. But I really feel like for my game, it's a very good combination of power and control, where it's powerful when you want it to be, but you have plenty of control on dinks, drops, and resets. You know, you have a loose grip, you don't swing too much. It's really good in that aspect. If you have any questions more about the paddle, I also made a Discord within the Pickleball Studio. And, you know, it's all a bunch of people that I've sold the Dwell to that are excited about the product. Well, anyway, if you have any other questions, go out there in the Discord or write something in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to you. And lastly, if you want the paddle, go to dwellpickleball.com, and I'll put this in the description. But my code is just my first name, Jared, Jared. Well, hope you like the paddle, and let me know what you think if you get it.